Good evening, and yes, welcome to another edition of Plus Sports right here on Plus TV. My name is Wale Agbede, and this evening, alongside my guests on the show, we'll be touching on a lot of interesting topics right here on Plus Sports. But let's start off on the home front, where the Falconets returned to Nigeria in the early hours of Thursday following their ouster from the 2022 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Secretary General of the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, Mohammed Sanusi, and the representative of the Minister of Youth and Sport, Tony Bitoye, received the team on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The players and their officials had a torrid experience as they were stranded at the Istanbul airport for 24 hours as a result of their inability to secure transit visas. They were also delayed for more than 3 hours in Bogota, Colombia, and 1 hour in Panama.
Which was approved for Super Falcons, which is at the ministry being processed, that we should also pay you from there. So we want to assure you that at the same time the Super Falcons are going to be paid, you are also going to be paid your bonuses, your qualification bonuses. And so it's just to let you know that Nigerians appreciated all what you did. But we are saddened by the fact that on your way back, you had to sleep at the airport for a cost reason beyond our control. The arrangement was done by FIFA, and you knew what happened better than us. Art sent something from, he said, the coach and the players. And 21 players.
Coach, the Honorable Minister, from his pocket as he was traveling, he said, Tony, go and represent me at the airport. So he said, don't go empty-handed. Even if it is head coach and the players, give them something.
Yes.
So please, this is from the Minister for the head coach and 21 players. Please.
All right, the Secretary General of the NFF, Mohammed Sanusi, and Tony Ibitoye, former Super Eagles media officer, welcoming the girls at the airport in Abuja. This evening, I have a sports journalist all the way from France who joined us live on Plus Sports, Babatunde Ojora. Babatunde, good evening.
Bonjour, mon ami, and thank you for having me this lovely evening.
Fantastic to have you, Babatunde. Let's start off with the Falconets and all the back and forth that has gone down in the last 24 to 48 hours. First of all, it was the pictures that emerged from Istanbul of the girls sleeping on the floor and on every available chair, and then all the different explanations that have come from the glass house, the NFF, as regards why the girls, underwent such treatment. Can you give us an insight into all of the happenings of the last 24 to 48 hours?
Thank you again for having me, Wally. And before going into the insight, I must also use this opportunity to say the leaders, that are in charge of Nigerian football, they're not doing anything positively for women football in Nigeria, from what we've seen in the past. And looking at what has happened to the Falconets, these are girls of below 18 years old, and we'll see how they had to sleep on every available chairs at the Istanbul airport. Just, that tells you, it kind of makes you ask yourself that what's happening with Nigeria. These are ladies that for the first time in Nigeria, we had them win their group stage games, 100% record. It hasn't happened before. These are ladies that, before even coming to them, we saw how Toby Amuso and the likes have been making us proud for the past couple of months. And our own leaders failed these young teenagers woefully. So I would just say everything that has been happening is just, it saddened me that we're still in this era where we'll still be talking about women football in Nigeria and how they've neglected and how they're still neglecting women's football in Nigeria?
Well, I mean, the explanation from the NFF was that FIFA were in charge of the transit visas, the movement of the girls from Costa Rica, where the competition was being held, down to Nigeria, and all the. But I mean, what I took out was the fact that, they took them through a country that had stopped issuing a visa on arrival for Nigeria, and that's why I support your point about where the NFF, aren't doing their job properly. Anyway, I'm moving on quickly from there to the trending conversation in the world of football. I mean, after a summer full of exciting football action and a grand opening to the 2022-2023 season, the focus has now shifted to this season's UEFA Champions League. The biggest clubs across the top European leagues are set to compete for the top continental prize, and they'll start their journey with the group stage, which is set to begin on the 6th of September. Babatunde, we've seen the draws this evening, just about 30 minutes or about an hour ago. The draws ended over there in Istanbul, where the final of this year's Champions League will be held. And we've seen some really interesting matchups. Which group really caught your attention?
European football is back. Arguably the best football club football competition in the world. I want to go with the group where we have PSG and we have I think Inter Milan as well. Juventus. I beg your pardon. PSG, Juventus. I think that's going to be a big one. Looking at how the likes of Di Maria and probably Leonardo Paredes, who might be joining Juventus as well. I think it would be a good one. Oh, not forgetting Bayern Munich and Barcelona again. I hate to say this, but every football lovers want to see that happen again.
And that's the group. That's the group that has Inter Milan actually. Bayern, Barcelona, Inter Milan.
That's true. And looking at Inter Milan now, I mean, they're doing well. Lukaku is back, firing, scoring goals. I saw their last game, the one they played in their league games. That tells football, European football coming back is going to be a good one, and we're all excited to see this and seeing, every Tuesday, Wednesday, going back to our TV and seeing what's the best of club football in Europe.
As regards some of the subplots, last season's winners, Real Madrid had the best player of the tournament, Karim Benzema, also the best young player in Vinicius Junior. These guys are still with Real this season. Even though Real didn't land, their targets, they were chasing Kylian Mbappe. They were also chasing Erling Haaland. Do you see Real Madrid retaining this title? We've seen them do it 3 times in a row under Zinedine Zidane. Do you think Carlo Ancelotti might just have something up his sleeves this season?
Carlo Ancelotti has proven to be a serial winner, and I think what's, in my opinion, is a manager coach. He knows how to manage every player and get the best out of them, and that's what we've seen over the years. This is a Madrid team where everyone, I mean, at the beginning of last season's Champions League, no one would have thought Real Madrid will go all the way to the final. I mean, we talked about Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, looking at how, they're flying blazing hot in the league, and Chelsea coming from, defending champions and all the likes. No one gave Real Madrid a chance. But yeah, we had Carlo Ancelotti doing the magic, and I give him to that. And this season, no one should write them off. I mean, they used to be like, like a toothpaste tube where you're squeezing something and hoping to get paste out of it. But now they are no more. They are nothing like that. They're proven to be champions, and anyone that wants to go against them will have to have a rethink about how to approach the game, home and away, and definitely want to get a win against them.
All right, Babatunde, for some of the sides who have been chasing their first Champions League title, particularly Manchester City under Pep Guardiola and Paris Saint-Germain with their array of stars and a new manager, Christian Gaultier, which of these two sides do you think is closer to making this season their season?
And that's a very, very good question. Looking at these teams, I think, there are some experiences you gather that will now probably help you going forward. I think both teams have gathered this experience, losing in the final, Man City, PSG as well. So I want to believe that these experiences will come, into this next season. They'll bring it into this season. And like you rightly said, they have Christopher Gatier, who has won everything winnable in the French league and also in the Coupe de France. In Saint-Etienne, winning Saint-Etienne their first trophy after 30 years, coming to Lille, winning the Ligue 1 ahead of PSG. And kudos to his technical crew and everyone as well. And Luis Campos. So Luis Campos is also with him in PSG. And we see how PSG is playing right now. There's a sort of discipline at the team because they came and said, guys, if you come late to the training, you don't need to pay any fine. Just turn back. I mean, that was something PSG never had. And at the presentation of Christopher Gatier, you rightly said, I was there at the Parc des Princes when they said this will be a team that's going to work on bling bling. That's the name everyone calls them in France. And they said it straightforward that I won't, work over this bling bling thing. So he's bringing all that into the team. We are seeing how they're playing now. They've scored over 20 goals, if I'm not mistaken, in the first 3 games. That has never happened before. That's to tell you what Christopher Gatier and Luis Campos is bringing to this star-studded PSG team. We'll see how Messi is now playing effortlessly. So it's a good one for PSG, and with the experience of losing out in the final the last time to Bayern Munich, I think all this will help them going forward in the Champions League. And Man City now, they brought Erling Haaland, but I'm a bit skeptical looking at how they've played over the last 2-3 games. It's still early to call, but I think with Erling Haaland, they have no excuse now than to go there and probably lead this trophy for the first time.
All right, Manchester City and Guardiola obviously having a seemingly easier group with the likes of Sevilla right there in their Champions League group that was determined in the draws today. Babatunde, just stick around a little bit. I still want to come back to you on one more topic, but in the meantime, coming back close to home, we go on to the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, who have released their latest national team rankings, with the Nigerian national team retaining its place on the 31st spot. Amongst African teams, the Super Eagles rank 4th behind African champions Senegal, who are 18th in the world, Morocco, who are 23rd in the world, and Tunisia, who are 30th in the world, just one place above the Super Eagles. Mauritania and Botswana moved up 3 places each to 107th and 146th respectively, and are the most improved teams in the latest rankings. Brazil remains the number 1 football team in the world, with Belgium and Argentina closely behind as they were in the previous rankings. All right, moving on quickly from that to where I want to bring in Babatunde. Premier League clubs have shattered their record for the summer transfer window spending, according to analysis from sports finance experts Deloitte. Gross spending by the 20 Premier League teams stood at £1.5 billion as at Thursday, which is today, surpassing the 2017 record of £1.43 billion spent by English clubs in the close season window. It is also more than £1.4 billion spent in the whole of last season. But today, it's still a week to go before the end of the summer transfer window, and we're seeing record spending. Babatunde, you are in France, you are in Europe. Where are these European clubs getting the money from? I thought COVID was affecting their books.
I mean, I remember being on a show saying COVID now will now make clubs go back and invest in their academies. But it's the other way around now. With the way this money is just going about, I saw Isaac transfer fee around 65 or thereabout, and I asked myself, what's happening to football? But at the same time, we should also look at it that the business aspects. I mean, there are things you're saying now in football that we used to have them in the past, but now it's pretty obvious. We've got, this rights, this endorsement and things coming in now. People throwing money around. So I think that's why having deals like this, and with Man City, Newcastle doing this, as these figures you can't even imagine. So I think it's all about giving the fans what they want, and because I mean, when Messi joined PSG, there was a news release that they sold about I can't remember the figure now, but they've never sold something like that. I mean, when it comes to shirts and everything, t-shirts. So that's to tell you the kind of things these players are now bringing to football. Erling Haaland in Manchester City, Isaac as well. So they are now, some fees we don't even get to talk about. That their money they're making that we don't even get to talk about. Parking rights, tickets, and everything we don't even know about. So I think this is where these administrators are coming in that. Let's give this to the fans. Maybe in the next 1-2 years, we'll get our money back. In the end, it's all about business. So I'm sure nobody is in business to lose. I'm sure getting players, so that's, I don't want to say atrocious figures now, but getting players with that unimaginable figures, there must have been a plan that probably in the next 2 years we'll get our gains back. So I want to believe it's just the business part of football growing big right now.
All right, away from all the business talk, let's talk some football. We've seen some big signings. Darwin Núñez for Liverpool from Benfica. Erling Haaland, like we've mentioned a couple of times on the show today, to Manchester City. Chelsea spent 60 million on Cucurella from Brighton. They bought Raheem Sterling for almost 50 million. They signed Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. There's also United, who have just signed Casemiro from Real Madrid. And we also hear that they might be chasing Anthony from Ajax for almost 90 million. Arsenal also have done a lot of spending. Which of these players, which of these signings has really caught your eye? And which of them do you think is really going to do well in the Premier League? Let's not also forget that there's Newcastle who have bought a number of players, and Nottingham Forest who have signed 16 players this summer. Babatunde.
I want to be sentimental a bit because I'm a Chelsea fan. So even though my head is saying Cucurella, but my mind is saying the other players out there. I think Erling Haaland for me is a star. He's, in my opinion, not a superstar yet, but he's a star who is waiting. I mean, who is on the verge of becoming a superstar, and we've seen what he's capable of. I mean, what he's capable of doing. But my only worry is how Man City is going to deploy him. We've seen games, the first 2-3 games they played. He hasn't been giving that free run passes, those pocket passes. Man City is a team, they play very closer. But I think Erling Haaland will do very well. It's just a matter of time. And I hope Pep Guardiola will get it right and, start giving him those passes from De Bruyne and everyone there. But I think it's going to come better with time with Man City.
All right, thank you very much, Babatunde, for joining us on Plus Sports this evening, all the way from France. I hope that you'll be joining us next time we call on you to speak to us.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you very much. Babatunde is a Nigerian sports journalist who is based in France. Talking about transfers, Manchester United's new signing, Casemiro, says he's the happiest person on earth after joining the Premier League club from La Liga champions Real Madrid. The Brazilian defensive midfielder penned the contract until June 2026 with the option of another year. The 30-year-old, who joins for a fee that could reportedly rise to 70 million euros, was unveiled before the Old Trafford crowd ahead of United's 2-1 victory over Liverpool on Monday, lifting the mood at Old Trafford after 2 opening match defeats that left them bottom of the league. Casemiro said he remembers playing at Old Trafford in the Nike Cup for Sao Paulo when he was 15 years old. Back then, it was his wildest dream to play at the Theatre of Dreams for Manchester United. Casemiro's addition will boost United's options in midfield, with manager Erik ten Hag currently having only Fred and Scott McTominay as the regular players in that department.
Bueno, primero, muchas gracias. Sin duda, con mucha ilusión, con mucho cariño. Me estoy sintiendo ya todo el mundo que me acerca con cariño especial por mí, y eso sin duda es muy importante, ¿no? Siempre me he sentido muy querido desde el momento que estoy aquí, y bueno, yo creo que un nuevo reto, una felicidad increíble. Me parece que tengo 20 años, 18 años, con mucha gana, con mucha ilusión de querer ya está con los compañeros, ya está jugando en estadio, y bueno, yo creo que la ilusión es más grande del mundo y estoy muy feliz.
All right, that's it. Casemiro joining the Manchester United squad to improve and bolster the squad that has started really, really poorly, although they did get a fantastic victory on Monday against Liverpool. That's the whole of the package on today's edition of PM Sports, right here, Plus Sports on Plus TV. My name is Wale Agbede. Until tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., when we will be bringing you another package right here on Plus Sports. Stay tuned to Plus TV. Don't forget that you can watch all our programs on YouTube. You can also follow us on social media channels, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at PlusTvAfrica. Thank you very much and good evening.